Hi, this is Erin from erinbusby.com. In the last video, I talked about self-to-self touch. And so now we get to start exploring interpersonal touch. And there are four dynamics around interpersonal touch. There's active-active, active-passive, passive-active, and passive-passive. So what does that mean? Active-active is something where both parties are actively engaged, like a hug. Active-passive, one person is doing the giving while the other is receiving. And passive-active is the opposite. The first person is receiving and the second person is giving. So a dynamic like that would be a massage. There's one person in a receptive mode and one person in the giving mode. Or passive would be something like incidental touch if you are kind of crammed in a subway car or something and just happen to be touching. And we can start exploring how we enjoy that. Something else to add into this is there's consensual touch and non-consensual touch. So consensual touch is touch that you are welcoming, that you are consciously accepting, and non-consensual is something that you haven't agreed to and may be actively rejecting. So before inviting somebody to explore this with you, start noticing when throughout the course of a day or throughout the course of a week you are actually touched. You will probably notice that it's less than you think it is, because we in this particular culture tend to be touch starved. There's actually something called touch starvation or skin hunger, where we're kind of isolated touch wise. And it's important both to our mental and physical health. There were studies done on monkeys by Harry Harlow that proved that that primates, when they're developing, need maternal comfort. They would choose cloth-bodied surrogate mothers over wire mothers, regardless of whether that's where their food source was or not. Or observations of children in orphanages. A bunch of different people have observed over time that children who are not touched frequently, particularly in environments like that are institutionalized, you're only touched like to change diapers, maybe briefly with feeding, children would fail to thrive and they would actually just waste away. So there's lots of research that talks about how essential it is for a healthy childhood, but it's not really less essential as we grow older. When I was 23, I was working with children with autism spectrum disorder, and I had just finished massage school. Or the practical classes, and I was in clinicals. And I went from receiving massage about twice a week to not receiving any. And I started noticing that I was having anxiety attacks. And it occurred to me that I was touch starved. I was touching people all the time, but I wasn't receiving touch that was not violent. I was being bitten, and I was being kicked, and I was being hit very frequently, but I wasn't receiving a lot of nourishing touch for myself. And once I remedied that by seeking out touch, the anxiety dissipated and it wasn't an issue anymore. So it's really important to start noticing this. Record observations in your sensory journal, and when you are comfortable and have some information on incidental touch or casual touch, you might choose somebody that you are very comfortable with, a romantic partner, a best friend, and just say, I want to explore this. These are the boundaries that I want to establish. Would you be comfortable in sharing this with me? And it gets to be your experience. Just ask for exactly what you want from this experiment and offer to do it reciprocally with them if they're interested. But do let them know that this is for you, and good luck. Let me know if you have questions about how to do that or observations that you want to share. Put them in the box below, like always. And I will talk to you soon. Good night, love.